Good afternoon, sports fans. Welcome back to another taping of the Raven Slayers Hour podcast. I'm your main host, Raven Slayer. Unfortunately, we'll be alone here today, but again, we are going over the NFL recap and discussing some moves each team needs to make in the offseason in order to either make cap or to at least improve their team overall going into the regular season. So, as everybody knows, Eagles wound up winning the Super Bowl. I called it from moment one. I knew for a fact I had the right idea. I had I had it. I knew it. I am happy to say I was I was beating up on my dad. Well, not beating up on him, but basically telling him, "Hey, I told you my guess was right." So his idea was don't bet against the Chiefs. My idea was, hey, guess what? It's a new whole different idea here. Oh, hey, thank you for the follow. So, like I was mentioning, going over just some updated information with the NFL as far as what teams need to do to get under cap. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Hold on, let me make sure I'm getting my Twitch pulled up over on my Xbox. Make sure I can see chat and everything going on. So, just give me one brief moment here. Okay, anywho. So as we can obviously see here, a lot of teams are have well enough space to make some great moves to make their team hugely improve this year. A lot of teams have newer coaches. I'm actually doing very well. Thank you very much for asking, Evelyn. So a lot of teams have a lot more available cap comparatively to a lot of other teams. So I'm going to go over some of the teams that have little to no cap room, and then we'll go over the teams that have far too much cap room. So, New Orleans, $60 million over the cap space right now. Far too much that they have in general on their overall cap hits, as you can obviously tell here. Chase Young is one of the smaller contracts on that team. I don't believe he has any. I'm not entirely sure as far as his full contract. But the biggest hit on their entire team right now is that Derek Carr signing. Derek Carr, 34 years old, had a terrible season this year. With that new head coach in place, I believe this offseason you got to get rid of Derek Carr. Derek Carr is not the answer at quarterback. I don't think they really have any other quarterback on the roster that can make huge improvement at the actual position. So I see them going for a quarterback in the draft and even in free agency. But more than anything, I do believe that Derek Carr should be one of the ones that's cut this year. Because that saves him $10 million in cap right there. That gets him a little bit close. Well, actually, that's 50 million more in dead caps. Actually, let me come back a little bit because I think that's the wrong move to make. So that's on me. But more than anything, that could be something that could help them overall. So, just looking overall as far as the dead cap that they would have cutting certain players, I think you go for like some of the guys who really don't have a lot of will have a lot of dead cap hit on you. I'd see John Ridgeway walking away this season, walking away from New Orleans. Ben DiNucci, absolutely get Ben DiNucci out of there. He's, I believe, either your second or third string quarterback at a $1.03 million cap hit. I'm letting Ben DiNucci walk this year. Again see John Ridgway walking away this year. I didn't see him really all that much as far as his play this year, but a lot of these guys you see are going to be something walking away from this team this year. I mean, unfortunately, they're far above the cap as far as what's available this upcoming year. I mean, just looking at their numbers, $60 million in over the available cap this year. The cap for the entire NFL this year is $275 million. New Orleans ain't gonna cut it. I see them possibly making enough moves to where they have a little bit more cap space. But a lot of the guys who are on expiring contracts, I see them letting them walk this year. Maybe even talking to Derek Carr about a contract restructure to possibly help out with cap space for next year. Because even if with their the cap space available right now, which again they're over $60 million, unfortunately, even if they get some rookies, you may not be able to get them signed. So, second worst available cap, Cleveland. Everybody's up and actually I just started the stream. The first one didn't go too well, but this because I also upload these to YouTube. But as far as how it did on YouTube, it didn't do too great. Only 7 views so far. Hopefully things will get better. Anywho, moving on. Biggest hit for them right now is Deshaun Watson. It's biggest contract they have right now. Unfortunately, they gave him all that guaranteed money. All of the guaranteed money for some automatic reason. For a quarterback, it felt like he was even on the wrong side of 29 or even 28 when they initially signed him. He had been off that whole year because of the issues. But I look at them talking to Deshaun Watson about restructuring his contract to hopefully get them more available cap. Because Deshaun Watson, he does not deserve all that money he is getting right now. Deshaun Watson right now getting that $72 million this year, playing as terrible as he is, being as injury prone as he is, he doesn't deserve all that money. Denzel Ward, I don't see them restructuring. I don't see him wanting to restructure. As a lot of the news came out, Myles Garrett is requesting a trade out of Cleveland. He's going to be a huge hit on their dead cap, especially since I believe with the trade they're going to have to eat up some of that contract. So I can see Myles Garrett with him being traded away from the team, possibly helping out a little bit with their salary cap. But yeah, he needs to get out of there. As far as where they send him to, of course, I hope he goes to Cincinnati because we need that help on the D line. No shots at Sam Hubbard, but we need that help. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the guys who are on expiring contracts, I see them allowing them to walk. Jameis Winston needs out of there. I mean, him as their backup, him being in the backup role, he's honestly better. I wouldn't say better than Deshaun Watson, but overall, he would be better than Deshaun at this point of his career. Cam Thomas, I see him walking away. David Bell, I don't see him re-signing. Just some of these smaller contracts, I see them just letting them walk because you can't re-sign the guys. But yeah, a lot of them, I see there will be a lot of moves coming out of Cleveland this year. Dorian Thompson Robinson, he's a younger guy. He will have a little bit of dead cap to him at $171,000, but I would rather take that $171,000 dead cap hit to get back at least 1.3 or 1.03 in available cap. So I can see that move happening there. But yeah, a lot of these like larger contracts, like Charlie Hewlett, Cam Thomas, David Bell. I see him letting letting them bigger contracts walk. Majorly just to help out with the cap space overall. But definitely Deshaun Watson at quarterback. He needs to have his contract restructured, and if he refuses, then I don't know what Cleveland does. Moving on, Seattle at the third worst with $19 million over the cap. Just trying to think of who they should have discussions about restructuring. Noah Fant, he's one of their better tight ends. He should not restructure. Like, honestly, he should not. He's one of their better tight ends overall on that team. He needs to, of course, improve overall. Because honestly, on Seattle is one of the better receiving tight ends in the league. Robertson Harris, they have two options with him: getting him re-signed to a smaller overall contract, or letting him walk this year. I'm unfortunately in the group that thinks that he should walk away. I mean, he saves a shit ton of money for him. I mean, $5.6 million for his base salary. $6.6 million in overall cap hit. So I see Roy Robertson Harris walking away and going to a better overall team. Maybe Baltimore. Maybe sad to say it, Kansas City. But yeah, a lot of teams are in need of defensive tackle help, and him walking away from Seattle, maybe, not maybe, but is definitely something I can see happening. Them letting him walk so that they can save some more cap. But yeah, a lot of the expiring contracts, definitely I see them just letting him walk. Sam Howell's not a good enough quarterback to even be in a discussion of let's keep him, let's re-sign him. Unfortunately, I don't see him staying in Seattle. But definitely a lot of the bigger, like these bigger contracts, I see them letting walk. So it's just time to tell. Of course, this is far too early to be thinking about, be talking about this guy should be cut, this guy should be cut, this guy should be cut. Definitely right now it's more just speculating on who should be cut, who should be restructured. Except in the cases of, again, Cleveland and New Orleans. So the quarterbacks in those two organizations need to restructure their contracts to help their team out. Buffalo currently is the fourth worst. A little 18 million over the cap currently. 18.9 million over cap right now. Josh Allen, leave his contract alone. Von Miller, my apologies. Von Miller, he's unfortunately on the wrong side of 30. So I see him, either he retires at the end of this year, which unfortunately I don't see happening. But at the same time, guy's on the wrong side of 30. So yeah, he's unfortunately on the wrong side of 30, so I can see him either staying for another year and retiring at the end of next year, or him retiring at the end of the season. So, but either way, if they I don't see them restructuring his contract. He's fine as is. He's not a huge hit on their cap, but a lot of these better overall players that are on, expiring contracts, unfortunately, if they want to try and re-sign them, then if they want to try and re-sign these guys, unfortunately, they're unable to do so since they're so far over the cap. But yeah, a lot of quarterbacks on here really a lot of players on here that are on those expiring contracts. I see him letting them walk. Mike White, he's a great backup quarterback for them, but he's not good enough. Honestly, he's not good enough to stay there. $1.195 million at your backup quarterback position. You can go and draft another younger guy to sit behind and learn behind Josh Allen. So I know the quarterback draft class this year is not the best, but I still see them going out and getting some sort of quarterback in the later rounds to learn behind Josh Allen. Because worst case, if Josh Allen goes down with an injury at all throughout the season, if they keep Mike White, he's not going to help him. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a salty Bengals fan. But yeah, a lot of these expiring contracts, I see them just letting them walk. A lot of these teams, I see a lot of the expiring contracts walking. But more than anything, the larger contracts on the team, some of them should definitely, go and renegotiate some, just so they have more cap space to play with. Man, it's tough to even speculate about Buffalo as far as what they should and what they shouldn't do. Because really the bigger contracts are Josh Allen, Von Miller, and Ed Oliver. You can technically say Deion Dawkins with a $19 million cap hit, but yeah, there's a lot to speculate on this year as far as what direction Buffalo goes. But it could go very many ways for Buffalo. Possible contract renegotiations, or a lot of moves in the offseason. Again, a lot of speculation, no real confirmation of what the heck's going to go on, but we'll see what happens. Atlanta at 5th. I know a lot of people are jumping and screaming and saying get rid of Kirk Cousins. Me personally, I don't see them getting rid of him. I see a contract restructure is definitely in the possibility. He needs to get his contract restructured. He's costing that team far too much money for being the 29th best quarterback in the league. The amount of money that they're giving Kirko right now, Kirko Chain, sorry. He's not the answer. He's not the answer in Atlanta. Michael Penix Jr., them getting him in the draft definitely was a great thing, even though Kirk Cousins feel that it was a kind of a backstab. At the same time, you really can't say it's a backstab because Kirk Cousins was not set to be the starter there for an extended period of time. Kirk Cousins, I see them restructuring his contract or letting him walk. Even though it'll be a huge dead cap hit to him, I see him either asking for a restructure or letting him walk. I hate seeing this list because I hate seeing the list because of Jesse Bates' contract right there. I miss Jesse Bates as the saltiest Bengals fan as I am. He deserved to get a contract with us. So it's always sad to see Atlanta every single time, but yeah, it's sad to see every time. See who else. Kyle Pitts needs to restructure. They need to discuss restructure with him. After giving him $10 million contract, he's not worth $10 million. Kyle Pitts, with the amount of balls that he dropped last year, he's not even. I don't even see him being worth what Michael Penix Jr.'s contract's worth. He's not worth $5 million. Kyle Pitts is not worth $10 million. I would discuss the restructure with him, get him closer probably towards $7-8 million. Frees up at least $2 to $3 million. Helps them bring that overall cap space down to where they're closer towards that zero. Again, a lot of the smaller contracts, a lot of the guys on expiring contracts, I see them walking, especially the cornerback Lamar Jackson. That'd be funny as heck if Baltimore signs Lamar Jackson at cornerback, because then each team will say, "Well, shit, now he's on defense and offense." But yeah, a lot of the expiring contracts they'll walk without a doubt. I mean, honestly, Nikola Kalinick, I believe that's how it's pronounced. But yeah, Nikola Kalinick, I would honestly let him I would cut him, because I mean, $10,000 cap hit to be able to get $960,000 back. That would help out overall. DeMarco Hellams, him as well. I mean, even though it'll cost you $53,000 to cut him, you're still getting at least 1.3 or 1.006 back to help out with that cap space overall. Because I mean, kids coming into this year's this year's draft. I mean, they're not going to go in and take minimums. They're going to want huge contracts. Ray McCloud is another one that is very difficult to think about, because I mean, Ray McCloud's a great returnman. He is a great returner. However, $4.12 million cap hit as a kick returner and a punt returner, it's not worth it. I would honestly let him walk. And I'm probably in the small majority that's going to say this, but I mean, returnmen, they're not worth more than $2 million a year. They're not. You only have two jobs: return kicks and return punts. Those are the only two jobs that you have. And on a given Sunday, if your team's losing huge, you're maybe getting 5-6 kick returns. If your team, and maybe if your defense plays well in the game, maybe per game you're getting 3 or 4 punt returns. That's if you're being beat bad. If your defense is playing well, maybe you're getting closer towards 8 to 10 kick return or punt returns each game. But still, either way, I don't see a punt returner or kick returner being worth $4.12 million. So I see them restructuring Ray McCloud or letting him walk this year. But me, I'm in the camp that says cut Ray McCloud to save yourself $3 million, because that'll help out with your cap space overall, and help you get below that, so that you avoid the fine, and then you avoid from the NFL coming at you to bite you in the butt, and you avoid not being able to sign these younger guys. Miami, 6th worst, $7.6 million over cap. Again, a lot of the expiring contracts they'll be walking. Let Odell walk. Let him walk. Odell is washed. Odell's terrible. He's not even worth the $895,000 that you're paying him. He sucks. But yeah, a lot of the expiring contracts let him walk. Oh, man. Jake Bailey, I mean, no, I keep Jake Bailey there. He's your only punter. If you get a better punter, you maybe have a punting, competition, but Jake Bailey very well will stay there. Same with Jason Sanders. Maybe if you get a better kicker, who knows? Yeah, there's not a lot really that I can say about Miami. Not really a whole lot. I mean, maybe with Tua talk to him about a contract restructure, maybe. But I mean, at the same time, it's difficult to talk about Tua. There's years you can have with Tua where he is completely brain dead because of the injuries, or there's the years that he plays like a god. So It's the best of both worlds, best and the worst of both worlds with Tua. So that's difficult. Tyreek needs to restructure his contract as well. I mean, $28 million cap hit. Maybe restructure him to 20. Save yourself $8 million a year. But that's just me. I mean, save yourself $8 million a year. That'll help you out overall. Dallas, seventh worst, 2.3 million over the cap space. Everyone is saying this online. Every single person. And I'm not talking about your regular Joe Schmoes out there. I'm talking about the biggest of all the people in the industry. Restructure Dak. Restructure his freaking contract. Dak Prescott, $89 million a year as far as his contract, and him being maybe the 10th or 15th best quarterback. You got to restructure Dak. Restructure him. Maybe getting him closer towards $70 million a year, maybe 65, because that's about what he's worth. But I see them restructuring his contract. Oh, my apologies. I wouldn't touch CD's contract. Not at all. He's their best receiver on that team. Micah Parsons, keep him where he's at. Keep his contract. Don't touch his contract. He's fine. Don't worry. I don't know. What do y'all think? I mean, just in general about the contracts and everything. What do y'all think? My God. Yeah, I mean, I don't see really anything else. I mean, other than just letting the expiring contracts walk. Yeah, I mean, I don't think of anything else that can really help him out overall. But yes, restructure Dak's contract. Save yourself at least $19 million a year, possibly even closer towards getting him under $70 million, $65 million a year. You're saving yourself a shit ton of cap room. You're going from having the seventh worst cap situation, maybe down to closer towards where closer towards where Houston, closer towards where Kansas City is, or the New York Jets are at, with a little bit of room. But that's the one thing that Dallas needs to do: restructure Dak's contract. My goodness. Tampa Bay at the 8th worst. They have some cap space available, $5.6 million. Mike Evans is a huge question mark. I don't know if he's retiring. I don't know if he's staying a couple more years. I don't know. I mean, he's 32 years old. He's having insane seasons year after year after year after year. So, I don't know. I still see Mike Evans playing until his at least 37-year-old at least his 37-year-old. Sorry, give me one moment. I see him playing until he's at least 37. Antoine Winfield Jr. absolutely deserves the contract that he's getting right now. He's the best safety on that team, one of the best overall defenders on that team. He needs to keep his contract as is. Jordan Whitehead is due for a bigger contract at 28. He's currently costing them $4.5 million. I see them maybe giving him $5 to $6 million a year. So you're gonna hurt a little bit with that cap space moving into the next season. But I see him getting a bigger contract going into the next season. Costing them a little bit more money, but still getting a great safety to help with that team overall. Goodness. Sorry, give me one moment. I'll text her after. It's fine. Um, the kicker is a huge question mark. I mean, he's costing him 3.5. He's on an expiring contract. I don't know. It's tough to say with Chase McLaughlin. I don't know if he's due for a contract extension. Honestly, Chase McLaughlin's far too much to even consider as far as a contract, as far as a new contract. They may go in a new direction and get themselves a better kicker on the market right now. A lot of their expiring contracts they will let walk. Cameron Johnson costing him $963 million, only going to cost $6,000 to wind up walking. So I see him walking. I see them cutting him and letting him walk. I don't know. As far as everything else, it's a huge just toss up. Because I mean, arguably, you have one of the better quarterbacks still. I mean, he just hit the age of 30, and he shows no signs of slowing down. Tristan Wirfs is one of your cornerstones on that offensive line, so he absolutely deserves a contract that he has. But yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot of moves you can make other than re-signing Jordan Whitehead. You know, costing yourself a little bit more in that cap, but still getting, a serviceable safety. See. After Tampa Bay is Houston. Houston right now has 1.63 an available cap. Laramie Tunzel, one of their larger overall contracts. Stephon Diggs on a huge contract as well. C.J. Stroud still playing on his rookie contract, which is great. Which means C.J. Stroud you don't really have to pay for, a couple more years. And he even has that fifth-year option, so I see them restructuring Davis Mills' contract. He's costing him $4.9 million as a backup. I see him possibly getting his contract restructured to closer towards, 1.5 to $2 million a year. Yeah, a lot of the expiring contracts you just let walk. That's really it. That'll help free up that cap right there too. But definitely restructuring Davis Mills' contract will help him save a couple more million. But definitely, I would say getting him closer towards 1.5 to $2 million a year. That way, again, you free up that cap. You're not overpaying for a backup quarterback, and yeah, you're just saving yourself a lot of money. Yeah, Joe Mixon contract's nice, $9.5 million. Kansas City is your next team up. Jeez, Patrick Mahomes' contract for being this season it looked like he was turning into the wrong side of 30. A lot of quarterbacks have that happen. You hit the age of 30 and you start sucking. Because of course your body hurts all the time, blah blah blah. Who the fuck cares? I don't know. There's a huge gray area. Cut him. I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. Honestly, I would restructure Harrison Butker. Because, 30 years old. Kickers typically are at the age of, 35 to 40 before they even contemplate retiring. But with Mr. Butker here, he should have his contract restructured. He's not that great of a kicker. Probably like the 17th best kicker in the entire league. So I see him restructuring his contract overall. DeAndre Hopkins, I mean, that's another difficult conversation to have because DeAndre Hopkins came into this team. He really wasn't going to cost him all that much the very first year since he was traded there. I don't know. With D-Hop, it's, again, a difficult conversation to have. But D-Hop at 1.8 with being at the age of 33, even going into his 34-year-old season this year, I would honestly let him play out the contract as it is right now. And then, once he, I would say like mid-season, depending on how he's playing. If he's playing great, then definitely get him on a little bigger contract. Cost yourself at least getting him on like a $2 million per year contract. Definitely, would help him. Anywho, Rashee Rice. They're lucky he's still on his rookie deal. Honestly, they're really lucky. Rashee Rice is going to be that number one wide receiver out there in Kansas City. Once his rookie contract's up, I see him demanding at least $5 to $6 million per year. So in that case, you're going to want to look at some of your bigger overall contracts and discussing restructuring. The big question mark right now is Kelce. Kelce had one of his worst seasons this year. He is absolutely 100% without a doubt on the wrong side of 30. On the wrong side of 30, going into his 37-year-old season. One of two options with him. Restructure or discuss with him about retirement. I see Kelce retiring. That's what I see happening. Saves him... overall saves him what? His salary hit is $19 million. Cost you cost you about 2.5 to cut him. Get yourself a lot of available cap right back. So I would honestly either discuss with him about moving on from him this year, from whether it be him retiring or you cutting him, or discuss restructure. Because Travis Kelce has maybe one more year left in him. One more year at most. A lot of these other a lot of the other ones, it's simple. Just let them walk in the offseason. They're not going to cost you really anything. Just let them walk. But definitely that Travis Kelce contract. Again, I'm in the group that says either you cut him or you talk to him about retirement. Travis Kelce's not that good anymore. He's going to be 37 this next upcoming year. Let's see. We're at 10. We still have 30. We still have 22 teams to talk about. So I'm not going to spend too much time on each team. I'm going to see where we're at as far as time with how long we've been streaming and possibly move on to another subject. But I may just be focusing just on the NFL for this stream since I am alone. So, yeah. Moving on to the Jets. I'm going to highlight on one player and one player only because they're going to save them a lot. He's going to save them a lot of money. This name right here, Aaron Rodgers, 42 years old, had his worst season this year, has been injury prone at this latter point of his career. Let him walk. Either convince him to retire or you trade him elsewhere. Save yourself a little bit of money. And when I say a little bit of money, I mean a lot of money. You're currently at $15 million in cap space. Currently at $15 million, but all I'm saying is having a little bit more money on that would be a lot of help. As far as how it would help them, I don't know. I unfortunately am not in the front office, so yeah. But yeah, definitely letting Aaron Rodgers leave would help. But yeah, definitely, as everybody knows, as I've said before, expiring contracts let him walk. Andres Carlson is a tougher one to really even talk about. If I'm them, I'm letting Andres Carlson walk. Honestly, let Andres walk. He's 27, sure, but I say let him walk because he's not one of the better kickers in the league. I say you go after either a guy in the draft, which you're looking probably 6th or 7th round even before discussing that, or you go after, I don't know, one of the older guys. But that's just me. I say let him walk, but, we'll just see in this offseason. Oh, my Lord. Baltimore, $8.9 million in available cap space right now. As we currently stand, 22nd in available cap space. Oh, let's see here. I mean, Lamar Jackson, you really can't. I mean, you just signed him to a larger contract. He's a, all in all, I mean, MVP candidate every year, year after year after year. Ain't no damn way you're touching his fucking contract. Ain't no damn way. I'm just thinking of guys that they should possibly look at restructuring. Ronnie Staley is coming up for his either him moving on from the team or contract restructure or what have you. Honestly, I say them re-signing Ronnie Staley. Sure, it's going to cost you a little bit of money. I see him maybe demanding 10 to 12 million. What Derrick Henry's getting right now. Definitely closer towards the 12 million because he's one of the better offensive linemen on that team. And, of course, the unfortunate part is you have a lot of great players that are coming up for their, they're coming off of the rookie deals. So Rashad Bateman costing $5.14. Sorry, I had to sit back for a moment. So, anywho, there we go. That's better. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah, Rashad Bateman. 26 years old, currently has a $5.148 million contract. You have one of two options with Rashad. Re-sign him to a larger contract, which I know he deserves it. He's one of their featured wide receivers on that entire team. I see maybe him getting at least $7 to $8 million, kind of what Ronnie Staley's currently on right now. Zay Flowers is also coming into his own, so you have a pretty tough decision out there in Baltimore. Do you want to re-sign Rashad Bateman and get him on a larger contract costing you $7 to $8 million, or do you let him walk? Me personally, I'm re-signing him. You need to re-sign these younger guys because, of course, they can go to teams that have a lot more available cap space. They could also go to your rivals, which is a fairly scary thing to even think about. Think about Rashad Bateman with Pittsburgh. Rashad Bateman goes into Pittsburgh. They get Pittsburgh gets a better quarterback because Pittsburgh's quarterback situation sucks. It sucks. But if a lot of the things that have been discussed as of recent, if Aaron Rodgers goes to Pittsburgh, you add Rashad Bateman to that roster. You're looking at Pittsburgh becoming a team that goes back into the playoffs this year. Aguilar is another question mark. I mean, Aguilar, again, he's on the wrong side of 30. He had a fairly decent year this year. Decent, not the best, decent. I don't know. Honestly, with Nelson Aguilar, you can go one of two ways: cut him or keep him. Regardless, you're not saving yourself any money. You cut him, you trade him, you're still costing yourself the exact amount that his cap is. So I say keep Nelson Aguilar. Keep him for one more year. See if he either duplicates numbers that he had or has better numbers. But his is just a tougher contract to move away from. Keaton Mitchell, I know that they need to walk away from him. Both Keaton Mitchell and Rasheen Ali. Keaton Mitchell, even though it cost you $6,000 to get rid of him, you're still saving yourself 1.03. So you're getting yourself a lot more cap back. And then Rasheen Ali, even though it cost you $217, you still get 960 back. So still, either way, you're saving yourself a lot of money for at best, backup running back. At best, maybe third string running back. As always, you let the expiring contracts walk. I mean, as far as their backup quarterback situation, let me see. Can I filter this? I can. Okay. Where are their quarterbacks at? Malik Cunningham as their backup quarterback. That's another just tough decision to make. I mean, do you keep three quarterbacks on the roster with the current three that you have? Obviously, you're keeping Lamar Jackson, but you have to have a conversation. Do you want both Malik Cunningham and Devin Leary to walk, or do you keep one of them and then go and get another younger quarterback to sit behind Lamar Jackson and learn? Man, there's a lot of other question marks too. I mean, Zaire Mitchell, Padden, I didn't see him really at all this year, so I see him walking. They're your two featured tight ends right there, Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely. They both deserve the contracts that they currently have. Isaiah Likely, after this season, he's going to be off of his rookie contract. If he has that fifth year option, I would take the 5th year option, and then after the once the 5th year option is coming up, then discuss a new contract. But Isaiah Likely, I see him probably demanding closer towards, if he has a great year this upcoming year, I see him demanding, Mark Andrews money. But I see Baltimore giving him like 10, at least 7 to 8, at most 10. I'm going to leave it with that with them. Yeah, I'm going to leave it with that with Baltimore. Of course. Give me one moment. There we go. So I'm going to leave it there with Baltimore. Carolina is in a lot better situation. I know y'all might be bored, but yeah, I want to go through each and every one of these. But yeah, $22 million available for Carolina. You have a lot of huge question marks with Carolina, honestly, because I mean that team is just a walking question mark. Man. Honestly, Taylor Motton, he's not worth the $31 million he's making right now. Him and Robert Hunt, I mean, your highest overall the highest overall cap hit you have is on your offensive line. And if your offensive line is subpar at best, then that's a huge concern. I didn't even know Jadeveon Clowney was out there. I didn't even know that. But him costing you $13 million or $13.77 million a year for a guy who's on the wrong side of 30, who's been a subpar player at his position after leaving Houston. I don't know. I don't know. Getting Jadeveon Clowney that huge contract. Adam Thielen. I'm sorry to say it. Adam Thielen is definitely on the wrong side of 30. His better years, of course, were with Minnesota. Unfortunately, he is stuck on this terrible, terrible, terrible team. I don't know how many more times I have to say terrible, but they're a terrible team. But Adam Thielen, he's costing him a shit ton of money. Even if you cut him, you're only getting at $3 to $4 million back. I don't know. I say Adam Thielen, possibly a contract restructure, or possibly trading him this offseason, because I hate to say it, he's stuck there. He is stuck, and there's no real moving him. But either way, I discuss a trade. Andy Dalton, wrong side of 30, backup quarterback at very best. Even though when he came in to play for them, he was serviceable in the games that he played. But Dalton's on the wrong side of 30. Yeah, I honestly say let him walk too. Let Andy Dalton walk. And of course, as always, expiring contracts, let him walk. A lot of them you let them walk. A lot of them, if they look decent to you, as far as the organizations. Again, when it comes to Carolina, it is tough. It's tough to discuss. It's tough to speculate. It's even tough to say, yes, absolutely, get rid of this guy. Get rid of him, because he may make their team better. I'm not going to really harp on Carolina because, they have a lot of cap space available. And they also have a lot of guys that are not anywhere close. So, a lot of these teams that are terrible and have decent cap, I'm going to just super quick go through them. I'm not going to sit and speculate and discuss and blah, blah, blah. But Carolina, I don't even really have a lot to say about Carolina because, they're in a terrible situation as is. Indianapolis, I don't know. Indianapolis, I would definitely start looking at your older players. Guys who were, getting 35, getting into their late 30s, like mid to late 30s more than anything. Long snapper getting paid 1.5. That's interesting to even think about. Let's see here. Because, really, Indianapolis, they're 18th best in overall cap space available. They're a very, very young team. Your oldest guy on the team is, in his mid to late 30s. So, a lot of these guys who just came in, whether it be from the, a lot of these guys that just came in at the smaller contracts. Okay, Albert, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but Albert, that tight end that they have there, re-sign him. He's one of the better tight ends on that team. One of the better receivers on that team. I would re-sign him, get him probably closer towards $3 to $4 million per year, even though it'll cost you a little bit of money. Hey, you're at least keeping him around, at least keeping that tight end. Yeah, a lot of the other ones, it's a huge question mark because it's hard to talk about a young team. Harder to talk about a young team that have, little these little contracts. It's a lot harder to discuss those. I mean, DeForest Buckner, he's a serviceable defensive tackle. He's 31 years old, so harder to talk about him. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of the younger teams as well. I'm not going to really touch him, talk about him, what have you. Philly. Philly. Don't do a damn thing. I mean, you 24 million available in cap space. Honestly, if I'm them, I don't do a damn thing. Don't do a damn thing. Keep the team as it is. Your backup, the backup guys, maybe you keep some, maybe you let them walk. I don't know. Like the expiring contracts, it's really hard to say about them. Sure, a lot of these guys are getting a ring. Congratulations. But oh yeah, I forgot about that. Jason Kelce still was getting his pay too. I forgot about that. Anywho, but yeah, honestly, it's hard to say. Championship winners, they didn't even spend a whole lot. Honestly, they barely spent. They didn't spend a whole lot of their cap. I mean, they still have, 24 million still available in cap space as of right now. So I can see them making other additions to go for the repeat. But yeah, I wouldn't change a damn thing in Philly. Jacksonville has a lot of question marks too. Whole lot of question marks. Number one, Trevor Lawrence. He was sacked to hell and back. Trevor Lawrence had one of his worst seasons. One of his worst seasons there. That's, of course, referring back to when you had one of the worst coaches in the league that wound up leaving fairly quickly. And no, I'm not talking about Bobby. I'm not talking about Bobby Petrino. Honestly, if I'm going to make any moves as far as contract restructures, letting people walk, what have you, the first thing I'm doing if I'm Jacksonville, that Christian Kirk signing. He's costing you $24 million per year just to be the best receiver there, sure, but he's costing you $24 million to not really do a whole lot. So I'm thinking Christian Kirk contract restructure. Restructure his contract, save yourself a couple million a year. Maybe negotiate him down to like $20 million. Save yourself at least $4 million. Get it $4 million back in that available cap space. But yeah, other than the Christian Kirk question, there's a lot of question marks. Josh Reynolds is got traded over there. He's costing him 4.5. I'm saying re-sign Josh Reynolds. Re-sign him. One of your better receivers. Worst case, if Christian Kirk's not open, you have Josh Reynolds there available who can make great plays. So even though he's coming into his 31-year-old season, he's still one of the more serviceable wide receivers on that team. Sure, you got Gabe Davis there too, younger guy, but more than anything, if you need safety valves, Josh Reynolds is one of those guys you want to keep. As always, the smaller contracts, let them walk. Or sorry, the expiring contracts, I should say, not the smaller contracts. My apologies. I don't know. There's not really a whole lot more I would do if I was Jacksonville. Just re-sign Josh Reynolds and restructure Christian Kirk's contract because his contract's terrible. Um, Other than that, moving on to the Rams. 15th best cap space right now, $40 million. Matt Stafford costing you 49 million a year, knowing he's 37, not knowing how much longer he can last. Who knows? I see Stafford if he decides to come back, if he decides not to retire. I see Matt Stafford staying one more year. So I see him playing out, essentially playing out the contract he's currently on, and then retiring at his age 38 to 39 season. As a lot of y'all have heard, they are also discussing with Cooper Kupp getting him out of there, getting him traded elsewhere. I see this happening, him going to another team. Sure, as far as you Rams fans, by the way, Rams fans, that's for you. But yeah, I see Cooper Kupp, him getting moved out, without a doubt, going to another team that can hopefully get him more, get him available more. Him being the number one receiver elsewhere definitely would be great. I know you're all gonna hate me saying this, but Cooper Kupp has only 3 places he can go. 3 places. 3 places that are need receivers right now. Arizona. And I'm not saying they absolutely 100% need it because of the, they don't absolutely 100% need it because of, just, the wide receiver situation out there. They have a young guy, Marvin Harrison Jr. Or is that Marvin Harrison? Something Harrison. I don't remember. But anyway. Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm right. But other than him, I mean, you ain't got nothing else in Arizona. So I see Cooper Kupp going to Arizona. Cleveland! That's another place I could see him going. Not a whole lot you can really say about Cleveland. Cleveland sucks. Cleveland needs any help they can get. Wide receivers, another thing that they could utilize to help. And I see you get Cooper Kupp over there, and say you don't restructure the contract of Deshaun. Say Deshaun says, "Nope, I'm not restructuring. You can go fuck yourself." You get Cooper Kupp over there to help him. He'll say, "Hey, maybe I will restructure so we can keep Cooper Kupp for the long run." He plays the season with him. Hey, this is great. We should do this more often. But yeah, Cooper Kupp, I can see him going to Cleveland. Other than that, maybe Seattle. You get him up, get up to Seattle. You get a great, Seattle definitely would be great for him. Just thinking of who else. Quentin Lake's due for a new contract. 26 years old. I don't know. Quentin Lake is a tougher one to really discuss. AJ Green is up for his contract too. And yes, AJ Green, the cornerback, not the wide receiver, who is already retired, by the way. I don't know. Let me look up AJ Green's number. Hold on. Sorry, I said I was going to text her afterwards. So I'm just pulling up the ESPN app on my phone here. Wait, no, I don't need that. AJ Green, corner. So AJ Green with the Rams. He didn't do shit. Yeah, let AJ Green walk. Let him go. Bye AJ. But as far as AJ, I mean, in his young career, he's played with Cleveland the last 3 years. Came into the Rams and didn't really play. So, let AJ Green walk. Who else is up there? Tony Fields, Quintez Cephas. I don't know. I mean, the wide receiver question is just a huge question mark right now. Sure, you have Puka Nacua out there. You got Puka Nacua set to become the number one wide receiver out there in out there in out there in LA with a huge question mark. Because I mean, if Puka can stay healthy, again, that's the key word there. If he can stay healthy, you have a great player right there. Who else? I mean, Stetson Bennett. Him being the backup quarterback there, learning behind Matthew Stafford before he retires. That's another question mark. That's a huge question mark too. With Stetson Bennett, do you honestly keep him? You keep him as your backup until retirement of Stafford, and then from what he's learned, have him step up. Sure, you can have Stetson Bennett move up and becoming that starting quarterback from learning behind Matthew Stafford. But at the same time, will he have the same production as Matthew Stafford? I don't think so. So I see them moving on, maybe getting another quarterback, whether it be through the free agency or through the draft. One of two things could happen there. That's the Rams. Moving on to Denver. Man. I mean, Denver currently has the 16th best overall cap space right now. And you got a lot of guys, a lot of these younger guys on like these smaller overall contracts, which is phenomenal. You got your starting quarterback with Bo Nix, him still on his rookie deal, which is great. Same with Marvin Mims Jr., your set in stone wide receiver. Marvin Mims Jr. with Bo Nix is going to be great out there. And that's, of course, being non-biased. I don't know. I mean, honestly, Denver is tough. Tough to really say anything about. Younger team. They need some additions on that team to make them even close to a powerhouse to where they can make deep runs into the playoffs. But it's a huge question mark. I see Denver, honestly, since they have all that available cap now at $37 million, they'll be making additions this offseason. Green Bay, currently $44 million, 14th best overall cap space right now. Jordan Love being on his current contract, he is. That is honestly great. Who's due for a new contract? Who? Malik Willis is up for a new contract. Honestly, I see him getting maybe 16 to 17. 1.6 to 1.7 million just to be a backup quarterback. I don't know. Of course, all the other contracts down below, expiring contracts, bye. Yeah, I mean, it's tough to say. I mean, honestly, their team is structured fairly well. You get Malik Willis back in on 1.6 to 1.7 million. Cost yourself a little bit there, sure, but you're at least getting back a decent quarterback to back up Jordan Love. Wide receiver is a huge question mark. I mean, Romeo Doubs is a great wide receiver. Christian Watson, great wide receiver. Jaden Reed, not so much. So I see them going after a wide receiver just to help out with the, wide receiver room. Because, I mean, if you're just throwing a Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson every game, all game, I mean, teams are going to catch on to that super quick. But yeah, I mean, that's really what I have to say about Green Bay. San Francisco, $50 million currently in available cap space. 10th overall with cap space moving into the offseason. Javarius Ward is due for a contract. He luckily is on a void year since he was traded over there. But I honestly see Javarius Ward getting himself a new contract. A lot of speculation with Debo because a lot of people are saying that he's asking for a trade. I don't know. Debo's another difficult one. I mean, if he wants to trade him. Honestly, trade him. Because if you have a player that doesn't want to play out there, trade him. Trying to think of what else. Because, I mean, honestly, Ayuk very well could step up into that leading wide receiver role. And that's not, of course, just me saying that because I'm an ASU fan. But I see Ayuk stepping up in a huge way this year and becoming that lead wide receiver out there. Christian McCaffrey costing you $9.4 million a year. Being injury prone as he is, I don't know. I keep Christian McCaffrey on that same contract, even though he's coming into his age 30 season. You have a couple of question marks there. Keep him and let him play out another year. See if he performs well. If he does, great. If he doesn't, then maybe start looking to make him less of a focal point into your offense and look into another younger running back. Because as everybody knows, running backs are not very durable. Brock Purdy coming into the last part of his rookie deal, very well may have a 5th-year option. I would utilize Brock Purdy's 5th-year option. Have him play out on his with his 5th-year option to see if he makes improvements, because this year was not a great year for Brock. That's just majorly because he didn't really have all that help when it came to the running game. But honestly, Brock Purdy, let him play out on his 5th-year option, and if he performs, give him a big boy contract. If he doesn't perform, then maybe go in another direction. Then another big question mark. Not even a question mark. Another guy who probably won't even be seeing the field this next year, Dre Greenlaw. Dre Greenlaw, out of everybody, does not deserve a contract anywhere else. If you're in the middle of a game, your team tells you, hey, we need you out there right now. We need you on defense. You're going to say, nah, I'm good. You don't deserve to play in the NFL. You should retire. Dre, honestly, he's not going to get another contract elsewhere. Teams are going to see what he did with San Francisco, seeing how terrible that they were doing that year. And for you to give up, you don't deserve to have a contract in the NFL, let alone with the current team that you're on. Other than him, I mean, yeah, the contracts there, the expiring ones, just let them walk, honestly. But yeah, the big one that's gonna happen is Dre Greenlaw. Just he needs gone. He needs to go, and he does not deserve another chance elsewhere. And on to the fun one. One that one that I will discuss until I'm blue in the face. Cincinnati. Currently the 12th overall in available cap space as we currently stand. Guys coming for their big boy contracts. Jamar Chase is demanding a new contract. Trey Hendrickson is coming up for another contract extension. And of course, my personal favorite, sign him. Sign him. Where is he at? Hold on. Where is he at? I'm just blind or am I not seeing him? Oh, wait, he's probably in the dead cap right now. Oh, he's not. Where the hell is he? Where the hell is T? What the hell? T's not even on this list. What the fuck? Re-sign T. T is wanting a decent amount of money. We have the available cap space. Cool. My thing is being shipped. Anyway, T. Higgins is coming in to his big boy contract year. T. Higgins deserves at least $15 to $20 million a year. I'd say probably closer towards 15, 16 million, actually, now I think about it. He is a great wide receiver. He is a great guy to have in the actual locker room itself. And if you're going to make the argument that, Andre Yoshevas is going to step up and be the wide receiver number 2, and Jermaine Burton's going to be the number 3. No, you're wrong. You are wrong. T. Higgins, in that locker room, being the wide receiver that he is, he deserves to get the big boy contract that he has worked, sweated off for years. Look at me, I'm sounding like I'm about to cry. But T. Higgins deserves that big boy contract. And for those of you who say that he needs to go somewhere else, stop it. He's going to stay in Cincinnati. Cincinnati's going to finally get their heads out of their asses and give him the big boy contract that he deserves. God damn it. Let me calm down. I don't know. Drew Sample, I'm sorry. Let him walk. Drew Sample's a great blocking tight end. God damn it. What the fuck? Where the hell is the other tight ends that were on the other tight end that was on this team? Was it Dead Cap? No, it's not. What the hell? I don't fucking care. God, what was his name? But anyway, the guys that are up for contracts this year, sign them. Sign them. But moving on to the part that is kind of, the part that frustrated fans this year, the ones that wanted us to be up in arms and get them the fuck out of there. The defense. That defense needs restructured. Absolutely. Abso-positively. Our corners, a lot of them don't deserve the contracts that they are being paid. DJ Turner. DJ Ivy, Jalen Davis. I mean, Jalen Davis is going to be walking anyway. He'll be gone. He's one of the expiring contracts. But specifically, Daxton Hill and Cam Taylor-Britt, they sucked. They sucked this year. I don't know. Cam Taylor is a difficult one. You keep him for another year, see if he can, develop. Same with Daxton Hill. See if they can develop this year. But if they can't, just let them fucking walk. There are better cornerbacks elsewhere. I believe this next year there's going to be a decent class coming in as far as the cornerbacks and as far as the safeties. So I look elsewhere. Trey Hendrickson, he's coming up for his big boy contract this year as well. Re-sign Trey. He was the best defensive end on this team, and I'm saying that even with the likes of Sam Hubbard and Miles Murphy there. By the way, keep Miles Murray, keep Isaiah Thomas. They need to trade away Sam Hubbard. I'm sorry. He even though he is the Cincinnati boy, he is a homegrown player. You let Sam Hubbard walk. Trade him or cut him. I don't give a shit. Sam Hubbard sucked this year. Let far too many plays go by him. Didn't really perform all that great when it came to, performing in the trenches. Let Sam Hubbard walk. And the money that you're saving, letting Sam Hubbard walk, you give that money to Trey Hendrickson, goddammit. There's another one I'm saying. Another one I'm probably gonna get a lot very heated about. Sheldon Rankins. You signed him instead of re-signing DJ Hill. Sheldon Rankins is the worst defensive tackle I have fucking seen. Worst one I saw all year. Let Sheldon Rankins walk. I mean, the guards are fine. Alex Kappa, maybe restructure him for a little less money, $7 to $8 million a year. He's not worth the $10 million he's getting right now. Oh, I'm not going to say nothing nice about Evan McPherson, so I'm just going to skip right past him. Logan Wilson deserves the contract he's getting right now. Jermaine Pratt, I know you did. I know Jermaine Pratt requesting a trade. I'm sorry to say it, but he needs to go elsewhere. I mean, honestly, Jermaine Pratt, he's a great linebacker for us, but at the very same time, he's not getting it done as of recent. He definitely has been down in production overall. So it's a very huge question mark whether you keep him or cut him or trade him. Orlando Brown Jr., keep him there. He deserves to stay there. He just needs to get better with his blocking. Hasn't even brought up the right tackles as of yet. That's another difficult one here, too. Jake Browning. As everybody knows, when it came to, what's his name? Carson Palmer. Carson Palmer, when he was wanting the team to be better, he was demanding that Kitna stay as backup quarterback. He was demanding them to redo the entire organization. He was demanding more, more ability to let the team sign who the hell they wanted to sign. Not a single thing was agreed upon. So, if you don't want Joe Burrow pissed off, do what he says. You listen to everything Joe Burrow is suggesting, because worse than anything, if you let Jake Browning walk and you don't do anything to improve the defense, Joe Burrow might retire. Then again, I do know that Joe Burrow has a bigger backbone than he does, but a lot of guys in his situation would do the same that I just described, would do the same thing. I mean, he's your franchise quarterback. Your franchise quarterback. You don't make your franchise quarterback happy, he's not playing for you. Me and my cousin were discussing this all season when it came to the running back position. Zach Moss, Chase Brown, Gary Brightwell. Gary Brightwell, I mean, he's not going to stay there. Honestly, he's gonna walk. Chase Brown should be your number one running back without a doubt, no question about it. He is your number one running back. Zach Moss is a serviceable back, yes, but he's not good enough to stay. Honestly, I'd trade Zach Moss in the offseason or just let him walk free. Cut him. Right tackle. Right tackle is definitely a huge question mark here. Devin Cochran, Andrew Coker. Maybe you move over one of the left tackles over to the right tackle position. I don't know. But yeah, right tackle is a huge gaping hole right now, so we'll just see what happens. Oh, I'm not going to say nothing nice. Not going to say anything nice. Except for Jordan Battle. Jordan Battle is probably one of the better safeties we currently have on the team. He deserves to stay where he's at. Geno Stone. Geno Stone needs to step it up this year. That's all I have to say. He has to step it up this year. Because last year he was terrible. If Geno Stone does not improve this year and helps Joe Burrow and the Bengals get to the playoffs this year, Geno Stone's not going to get a new contract. He'll maybe get his fifth-year option, get that picked up. But, yeah, Geno Stone probably, maybe if he performs well, he'll stay. If he doesn't, then I'd let him walk. Amarius Mims, he's going to step up into that right tackle position. I know it. He was a great guy to draft this year, honestly. Amarius Mims, he is going to be one of the better offensive linemen on this team. And not to be corny or nothing, but I could see Amarius Mims becoming a Hall of Famer. Even though he's fairly young, he very well could be a Hall of Famer. Hopefully he won't have to wait as long as Mr. Anderson, Willie Anderson. Hopefully he'll be in there, just like God damn it, I can't even think of his fucking name. I think it's Anthony Munoz, just like Anthony Munoz. Sorry, that took me far too long to remember. But yeah, he could be in there just like Munoz. All right, so moving on from my rant about the Bengals, we got a couple more teams to discuss: Giants, Titans, Pittsburgh, Detroit, Minnesota, Arizona, Chicago, L.A. Chargers, Washington, Las Vegas, and New England. So some of them I'll go through quick. Some of them I'll spend a little bit more time on. Giants, I might go a little bit quick. I'm not entirely sure. I'm just going to go through it as quick as possible because I know a lot of people have a lot of things to say about it. Me, personally, I don't have a lot to say. I mean, 13th best overall cap space currently. I mean, it's a younger team. It's tough to say. One thing I do know for a fact. Where is it? Where's QB? There's no QB. What the hell? They have no QBs in question. Okay. But, I don't know why in the world it doesn't have any quarterbacks on this thing, but, yeah, I mean, that's probably because all the quarterbacks they currently have are not on expiring contracts. That's probably why. I don't know. This one's tough, honestly. This one might make me this might hurt my brain even thinking about it. Yeah, there's not a lot I can really say about them. I mean, honestly, having two kickers currently on your roster, I'd cut at least one of those kickers. Save yourself a couple, little bit of money. Save yourself a little bit, not a whole lot. Yeah, it's honestly not a lot I can really say. So I'm not really going to go over the Giants all that greatly. I mean, there's not a whole lot I can really say about them. Tennessee. All right, Tennessee. Let's take a look here. Currently 11th in overall cap space, $49 million available in cap space. So they'll probably be one of the teams that is buying during the offseason. Man. Chidobe Awuzie, I mean, 30 years old. I don't know, man. Honestly, Chidobe, I mean, I would keep him there, mainly just because of his contract. That contract is completely and utterly unmovable. Oh, man, this is a huge question. It's harder to really discuss him because, I mean, honestly, the best thing you can do is just allowing those expiring contracts just to walk. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's hard to even really speculate or even, pound the table and scream, get him out, get him out, get him out, get him out. No, it's far too much to even think about. Will Levis, I see him becoming a backup quarterback. He is not good enough. Mayo Boy is done. He's gonna be their backup quarterback until the day that he retires. But yeah, not a whole lot I can really say about him. Only just about Will Levis and making fun of him because he sucks. Sorry, my phone keeps buzzing on me. My apologies. But yeah, not a lot I have to say about Tennessee. Pittsburgh, I'm gonna make a lot of fun about them. A lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to poke and joke about about Schittsburg. And yes, I said Schittsburg because I hate them. Fuck them. All right, Schittsburg. Let's take a look here. Expiring contracts on walk, obviously, as I keep saying throughout this entire freaking video. Minka, well, in this entire stream, Minka Fitzpatrick's. I don't know. Minka Fitzpatrick, you need to keep him there without a doubt. Cordero Patterson, he's another one that, I mean, I don't know why in the world he's costing you that much money. Cordero Patterson, I mean, he's a return specialist at, that's all. Sure, you can play him at running back, but is he going to get you 5 yards per carry? Hell no. Honestly, he's not worth 3.75. If you're going to keep him there just as a return specialist, I restructure and maybe get him down to like 1.5, get him down to like 1.75 to 2 million a year. Honestly, he's not worth 3.75. Skylar Thompson, I'm sorry, just let him walk. And of course, the other ones that people are questioning, I know for a fact they are not going to re-sign. They're not going to re-sign Russell Wilson or what is his name? Justin Fields. They're not going to re-sign him. This is a team that's going to go after a quarterback that will help them win. That's why a lot of people are clamoring for them and pounding the table for them to get Aaron Rodgers. Honestly, I would avoid Aaron Rodgers like the plague. Aaron Rodgers has seen better days. If I'm a fan of Schittsburg, I mean, honestly, I would go after after a younger quarterback that can be there for years on end. So, and I mean, even then, I mean, when Justin Fields, when he got on the field for them, he played fairly serviceable. So, I mean, honestly, I would keep him. I would keep Justin Fields there until you have a better quarterback class coming in, and then you would draft you would draft a quarterback. That's honestly what I say. But yeah, that's all I have to really say about Schittsburg. Let's see here. Detroit, currently 8th in overall cap space at 56.7. I mean, they're a young team, a really young team. A young team that actually has playoff experience now. Because, I mean, they've been in the playoffs the last 2 years. Zadarius Smith, I see them re-signing. He's one of the other defensive ends that, I mean, you have him on one side, and you got what is his name? What is his name? Help me out, chat. What's his name? The other defensive end. Aiden Hutchinson. There we go. Aiden Hutchinson. You put Aiden Hutchinson on one side and Zadarius Smith on the other side. You are going to have a rough time when it comes to trying to block those two guys. I mean, honestly, I mean, other than just re-signing Zadarius Smith, I mean, a lot of the other guys, you can definitely let him walk. I mean, none of them were really serviceable. Um, Jake from State Farm, I would definitely go and cut him. Let him walk. I mean, as a backup quarterback costing you 1.03, I mean, there's a lot of other serviceable quarterbacks out there. That worst case scenario, if Jared Goff goes down, then, or if he even shocks him and retires, which me personally, I don't see Jared Goff retiring anytime soon at 31. But worst case, if he does, you want to have at least a decent backup quarterback. And unfortunately, Jake from State Farm is not good enough. Minnesota currently 7th overall with their available cap space with 61.13 million. I mean, long snapper costing you 1.3. Harrison Smith costing you 6.5. I don't know. Harrison Smith's a difficult one to really gauge. I mean, he's 36. Hold on. Let me see. Does it show his stats on here or no? It'd be funny as hell if it does. Oh, no. It just shows his, shows his, shows his contract. Okay, so this really actually helps break things down. So, he's just coming off, just coming off of that huge, huge contract right there. I mean, honestly, on a 2-year contract, 10.25 million. And then let's see here, because an unrestricted free agent in 2026. So I don't know, man. I mean, Harrison Smith, he's coming to, and I'm sorry to say it, Minnesota, but he's coming to the latter part of his career. So I don't see Harrison Smith staying in the league until he's 40. So this very well may be Harrison Smith's last year. He can play in 2025, and then 2026 maybe play through his contract, and at the end of the year, retiring. But yeah, honestly, I see him playing out his contract and then leaving. Honestly, and when I say leaving, I mean him retiring. I see him retiring as a Minnesota Viking. He played his entire career there. But yeah, I see him retiring, whether it be at the end of this season or at the end of next season. On to another younger team. Currently 4th overall with available cap space at 71.3 million. Again, like mentioned, a very, very young team. They don't have a single person over the age of 30. They have one guy at the age of 30 with James Conner. I mean, really, if I'm Arizona, I'm adding people. I'm adding good players. Kyler was on his ass all year last year. Well, when I say on his ass, I mean, like, he was getting chased down, and him being chased down and everything. Hello, K. But yeah, I honestly see Arizona, adding more guys rather than. Yeah, I see him adding guys rather than cutting guys. I mean, it's a huge question mark when it comes there. Well, not even a huge question mark with Arizona. Honestly, I keep Arizona the way it is. Honestly, there's nothing really to do with Arizona other than adding more guys. But that's simple. That's why I'm saying a lot of these other ones I was just going to go through super quick. So we still have Chicago Chargers, the Washington, and I'm going to say it. I'm kidding. I'm not going to say it. Okay. There you go. Anywho, Washington Commies, Las Vegas, and New England. I might spend more time on New England comparatively because I mean they have the most. I believe they have the most amount. But anywho, Chicago sixth overall at 64.8 million available in cap. Um, a fairly younger team. Oldest guy is your kicker at Cairo Santos, which I am not shocked by that. Uh, man, there's a lot you can do. A lot you can do with Chicago. A lot of the smaller overall contracts that are walking, let them walk. Um, man, there's a lot you can do, a lot you can't do. I mean, they're a harder team to really gauge as far as what you should do, what you shouldn't do. So I'm not even going to really spend a whole lot of time on them because I mean they had somewhat success. They somewhat had success, but at the same time, they didn't have a whole lot of success. So I'm not even really going to touch on Chicago. Not really going to. I mean, honestly, you add more guys there to help Caleb Williams think that they have an idea on what the hell they're doing, but they have no idea what the hell they're doing. Yeah, moving on. The LA Chargers, fifth overall cap space, $65.6 million available in cap space currently. Khalil Mack's on his void year right now. 1 year, $19.2 million. So he's actually up for contract, up for his contract discussions. So could happen a couple of ways. Honestly, with Khalil Mack, he's one of the better. Yeah, honestly, he's one of the better overall players on that team. 2025 year automatically voids March 12th to 25. So honestly, I would look at re-signing Khalil Mack. He's one of the better defensive ends on that team, and that's not even by a short number. But I would re-sign Khalil Mack, even though he's currently costing you $8 million. I see him possibly getting a $10 million to $15 million contract, somewhere within that range. Because he honestly deserves it. He had a career resurgence in L.A., so I can see him re-signing for a larger amount this year. Other than that, I mean, other than that, I mean, a lot of the larger contracts, a lot of the expiring contracts, let them walk. What's Bud Dupree's contract looking like? Dupree is on his last year of his contract, so currently he's on a 2-year, $6 million contract. Average salary $3 million with a signing bonus of 1.28. Guaranteed. He's guaranteed. I mean, just looking at the incentives he gets, I mean, $250,000 for 7 sacks, 8 sacks, 250, 500,000 at 9, 500,000 at 10. So, honestly, if I'm the Chargers, I'm re-signing Bud Dupree. He's a young. He is, even though coming into his 33-year-old. Oh, it was just his birthday, actually. Well, happy belated birthday to Bud Dupree. Yeah, I mean, 32-year-old season, currently costing him 1.995. I see them re-signing him. He honestly deserves a new contract. I see them getting him. I don't know. If I'm the Chargers, I'm going for a couple more years, like a 3 to 4 year contract. Having him cost you a little bit more money, probably closer towards like $5 to $6 million a year instead of just the current, the current 3.6 he was costing you. And yeah, adding more guys to that, more guys overall to the team. More protection for Justin Herbert, definitely. Joe Alta, serviceable tackle, but at the same time, him and Zion Johnson. But other than that, there's not a whole lot of help they have right now. So, Rashawn Slater too. Actually, now I think about it. Trey Pipkins, okay, he's not the best, but not a whole lot of time I'm going to spend on the Chargers because there's not a whole lot of additions that, not a whole lot of restructures that they need to do. Washington's another one. That's a huge question mark. They outplayed their current expectations. They weren't expected to, really win all that much this year. They are a very, very, very young team. Honestly, with the third overall best cap space at $79.5 million, I'm spending in the offseason. I'm spending more to get more, get a better running back. Honestly, Austin Eckler, Austin Eckler's not the best overall running back to have. Currently costing him $3 million as far as his base salary, with a $1.5 million signing bonus. I would honestly let him walk. He's going to cost him far too much money. He's going to cost him far too much money, honestly. Marshawn Lattimore, currently costing him $16 million right now. Still on his rookie contract. Thanks to the Saints. I'm surprised the Saints traded him in 2023. But yeah, honestly, he is honestly due for his rookie. He's due for a huge contract moving forward. So, even though it currently costs him $18 million, I see him probably costing more like anywhere from $20 to $21 million a year. That's what I see happening. Oh, here, hold on. He's currently costing him $16 million. Yeah, so he has 2 more years under that current contract. So in 2027, when he's going to be listed as a unrestricted free agent, I can see them re-signing him, costing them $20 to $21 million per year as far as his salary, and maybe getting a $8 to $9 million signing bonus overall. I don't know. Jaden Daniels, having him currently on his rookie deal is huge for them. There's not really a whole lot else I can really talk about. Scary Terry, honestly, Terry McLaurin, he is on his last year of his contract. So I would honestly get him re-signed to a new contract. he's one of the better receivers on that team currently. He's on his rookie deal. Um, his rookie deal right now. They picked up his 4th-year option, costing you currently 15. Well, really, I mean 25.5 million. But yeah, I mean honestly, I can see him going. Well, I mean, he's going to be going into his year 30 contract this year. So I could honestly see him getting, I mean, honestly, 20 million a year. I mean, I see him getting, bigger, getting a bigger overall contract this year. But yeah, I mean, all of these guys, I mean, they're on their, they're up for their contracts this year. So there's a lot of huge question marks up and coming. I mean, Frankie Louvu, he is on. Oh no, he's still on his or he got picked up as a free agent. So, 3-year deal, 31 million per year, making about 10 million a year with an $11.5 million signing bonus. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, honestly, after his after his 3rd year's up, I mean, in 2027, depending on how he plays, if he has a huge year this year and next year, I see it in 2027 before he becomes the unrestricted free agent. I can see them. Oh, let me sit up here. I can see them re-signing Luvu to a larger overall contract. I mean, heck, the guy's as old as me, so. But yeah, I mean, I can see him getting maybe, I don't know. I mean, the $10 million he's currently on right now is a decent contract, so maybe getting him like maybe 13 to 14 million a year after his contract's up. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, there's not a whole lot else. I mean, Bobby Hart, 31 years old, currently on their team, on a 1-year on the 1-year deal. I don't know. It's currently costing you $1.255 million. Next year becomes an unrestricted free agent. So honestly, Bobby Hart, I let him play out the year. If he's a serviceable guard and he keeps him from, he keeps your young quarterback from getting sacked, maybe getting him re-signed to a longer contract. That definitely would be a decent thing to think about. I mean, Bobby Price is definitely coming into his only contracted year. See who else. Man, there's not a whole lot else we can really think about here. Yeah, I mean, that's Washington. You have 3rd overall when it comes to cap space. Final 2 with Las Vegas and then New England. Las Vegas 2nd overall in cap space at $95.17 million. Again, very young team. Only 4 guys really on their roster that are at the age of 30. Man, there's not a whole lot I can really think of. They need to add more guys, without a doubt, that actually can win them games. Man, that is difficult, honestly. A lot of the guys that are coming in for contract, I mean, Brock Bowers, isn't he currently on a contract still? Oh, no, he's on his rookie deal still, so that's great. It's great to have him on his rookie deal. That's definitely the best thing right there. Just trying to think maybe who they should go and either restructure or cut or what have you, but having that new team there, I mean, or the new coach there. There's going to be a lot of changes coming to Las Vegas here fairly soon. I mean, Aiden O'Connell's still on his rookie deal. He's on his third year of his 4-year contract. The huge question mark out in Las Vegas is in 2027, do you utilize a 5th-year option to keep Aiden O'Connell, or do you go after a quarterback in 2026 when that draft class comes out? That's a huge question mark right there. Honestly, I look at a quarterback in this offseason. Honestly, this offseason right now, Gardner Minshew is not the answer. Has not been the answer. Will not continue to be the answer. Currently is on the last year of his deal. I let him ride the pine, possibly fight for a starting spot, but at the same time, again, I mean, honestly, I'm letting him walk, whether it be this year or next. Honestly, sure, it'll cost you a little bit of money, but it'll help you regain some as well. Max Crosby. I wouldn't be shocked if Max Crosby, either at the end of this season or next, demands a trade. He's still on his rookie deal. He's an unrestricted free agent in 2027. So really, I mean, Las Vegas has 2 more years to even discuss a contract with him. So that could happen any which way. Yeah, I mean, really, there's not a whole lot else. I mean, other than Max Crosby and Gardner. Oh, Jacoby Myers too. He's currently on that 3-year, $33 million contract. He's on that in the last year of the 3-year, $33 million contract. Let me look up Jacoby Myers' stats and see if he. I mean, he's gonna be next year is gonna be his 30-year-old season. So let's see. Now, Jacoby Myers, I mean, honestly, I would re-sign him. Even though he's costing you currently, costing you as much as he is right now, I would re-sign Jacoby Myers because, I mean, he was a 1,000-yard receiver this year. Regardless of how terrible Las Vegas was this year, Jacoby Myers was still a 1,000-yard receiver. He has every single year. Well, he dipped off a little bit in 2020, and then turned it around in 2023 with the new team. But I mean, he's improved ever since his rookie season back in 2019. So if I'm Las Vegas, let him play out the season this year. But then next year, I would look into re-signing him probably for, I don't know, I mean, like 12, 13 million, honestly. You have all that available cap space, $95 million. So just doing a little bit of something to hopefully get more production out of somebody would help. Colton Miller, still on his rookie deal. However, that is coming up here fairly soon. He, from what I see here, it looks like they did take up his 5th-year option. This one's difficult to say, honestly. Colton Miller, I mean, he's a okay, not a great left tackle. Vegas can do one of two things: let him play out the year, and if he improves, re-sign him. If he doesn't improve, let him walk. Or they could do the sensible thing and try and trade him this year and get some capital out of it here. But I think I'm going to end it there with the Raiders. Last but not least, New England. Currently with the most amount of cap space out of every team, $123.5 million in available cap space. Far too much money. They have so much they can do. They can do this off season to improve this team overall. Um, I mean, they're a fairly younger team. A lot of guys they still have under contract. A lot of them they don't. Um, Out of all the guys that are coming up for a contract extension this year, um, Jabril Peppers, he is. Oh no, he's not coming up for a contract this year. Never mind. I don't know why it says that he is, but Giovanni Ricci, I mean, I'm sorry, let him walk. Fullback should not be getting a whole lot of money. I think Kendrick Bourne is coming up for a contract, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it looks like next year he's up for a contract renewal. Currently under that 3-year, $19.5 million contract. Kendrick Bourne is one of the more servable receivers out there in New England, even though they have a terrible team. And I'm not saying that by any long shot, but even though they have a terrible team, Kendrick Bourne is, and I'm correcting myself once again, Kendrick Bourne is terrible. I mean, honestly, ever since leaving San Francisco in 2021, he had a little bit of a resurgence with 800 yards, but ever since then, every single year, he has regressed in his receptions, regressed in his yards gained. And I mean, only one touchdown the entire year. No. Kendrick Bourne will not get a new contract unless these next 2 years he comes into form.